And I'm Carolyn, and today we're on the way to Alaska. We're here sitting here at Delta Airlines, waiting to get on to our first flight to Seattle. From there we'll fly on to Anchorage. There we'll be picked up by our cousins and be flown off into the wilderness.
Where will we be in Alaska? First of all, Alaska is a huge state. The joke says that if you were to cut Alaska in half, then Texas would be the third largest state. We'll be about 100 miles north of Anchorage and about 40 miles south of Mount Denali. We'll be near the town of Trapper Creek, which has about 500 people in it, and we will be camped out of that town about 10 miles from there. We've invited our cousins Tim and Kelly to come up with us. They're native Alaskans who are going to show us the ropes. Here's a picture of our campsite, which is on the back end of a homestead that another set of cousins own. This was settled in about 1958 or 1959, and it's still pretty primitive. They've got a landing strip on it because he's a pilot, and you'll learn more about that a little bit later. But we were camping in some nice tents, and we had a little cook stove and a little cook tent. We were near the conjunction of Trapper Creek and the Susitna River. One of the persistent features of Alaska in the summertime are the mosquitoes, and we found that the best defense against them were our head nets. Here's some pictures of the area around the camp. We're near the Susitna River. This is Trapper Creek, and we would walk down there, and I would do a little bit of fishing. Fishing wasn't great. I caught one nice trout, but a lot of little trout. And so this is the general area where we were. Tim brought a 12-foot folding boat with a 10-horsepower motor with him, and one of our activities was we would go down Trapper Creek and join with the main Susitna River, which is a huge river, and it drains most of the southern side of Mount Denali. You can see Denali here just to the right of the center of the picture. It looks like a cloud, but it's not. It's pretty rare that you'd be able to see it. And the water really was moving this fast. It was pretty exhilarating. From camp was we went down the Trapper Creek and the Susitna River in these little kayaks that are called pack rafts. They only weigh 5 pounds. They're just barely big enough for one person to fit in, and they're surprisingly capable. But being out on a river as big as the Susitna in such a little craft was a little bit intimidating, but it went well. These craft are pretty amazing because they have a big zipper that allows you to put your gear inside the air tube, and then you use a bag that you fill up with air and squeeze it into the kayak to fill it up. So anyway, this is us launching, and we went down to the main Susitna, and from here you're going to be able to see us on the main river. And like I say, it was a little bit intimidating because the water was moving pretty fast. These boats are very stable, and there was at no time where we were actually in danger, but just the thought that if it were to fall over for some reason, you probably would not be able to make the shore, which could be as much as a half a mile away. So it was a pretty intimidating and fun activity. Of course, we did some hiking. We were near Denali State Park, which is just south of the state. We also went over to the historic towns of Talkeetna and Palmer and did some geocaching, of course. So anyway, here's a few pictures of just some things that we saw. We'll be giving you more details about these in some individual videos after this. One of our favorite activities was flying with our cousins. Our cousins own God's Country Aviation, and they fly for the Department of Fish and Game, and they also fly hunters and fishermen into the backcountry. And one day they took us on a 4-hour flight where we flew up into the Talkeetna Mountains. We were planning on climbing on going up into Denali and circling the mountain, but it turns out that there were forest fires and there was smoke obscuring the mountain that day. So we flew up, we landed in an area that had a herd of caribou, and you can see the giant bear track that was there. It's pretty amazing. And we took off again and landed at the base of a glacier. It was quite an experience that we won't forget for the rest of our lives. Thank you, Kurt and Isaac. We will be releasing some additional videos in the next couple of weeks that'll give you details about some of our activities in Alaska this year. And you've already got a preview of those, but we'll be giving you more details. If you subscribe to our channel, you'll be notified when those come out. God bless.